Today I am going to be batching my Instagram content for an entire month. That's right, today, in one day, hopefully. And the clock is ticking because it is just after 9 o'clock. I've kicked out Dan for the day. He's actually working from home at our friend's house because his office is still closed and we both work from home, and his desk is approximately 10 feet away from where I sit. And don't get me wrong, I love having him here, but if you've ever batched content before, you know how efficient it is just to have an entire space to yourself, because it is gonna be like a whirlwind in here today. I'm gonna take you through the process of filming reels, editing reels, shooting photos for my feed, designing carousels in Canva, and scheduling all of it in Later. And speaking of Later, I am super excited to be partnering with my favorite Instagram scheduling tool, Later, on this video. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you'll know that I've been a happy customer of Later for years. I've been using it for myself to schedule all of my personal Instagram content for a very long time, and my business, Creatorly Media, also uses Later for all of our social media clients. We schedule all of their content in Later as well. So you can obviously tell I'm a big fan, and I highly recommend it. Later on in the video, we're gonna get into exactly how I use Later to schedule all of my Instagram content, including my little trick for scheduling reels. And if you want to try Later for yourself, then you can actually get 1 month free of the growth plan using the link in my description. So you're not gonna wanna miss out on that. Go check it out. All right, with that being said, let's get into the batching process. So of course, the very first step before you can start batching content is to create a detailed content calendar. Now, because this video would be like an hour long if I also included content planning in it, I actually created an entire separate video all about how I build out my content calendar on Notion. So I'm gonna be releasing that actually on Friday. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you get that video as soon as it hits your subscription box. So I'm gonna explain exactly how I set up this whole content calendar. But in the meantime, all you need to know is I've gone ahead and planned out ideas for reels, carousels, and feed photos. Mostly it's reels, and I've included a few notes for myself on how I'm gonna approach each piece of content. So now when I go to start creating, I've got a place of where to start. I'm not just trying to figure this out, and that's gonna help me be a lot more efficient and get all this done hopefully in one day. When it comes to batching reels, I like to switch out my outfits so that it doesn't look like I filmed it all in the same day, but you know, I wear the same kind of stuff all the time, so I don't need to have a different outfit for every single reel. So what I like to do is go through and film like a selection of 3 or 4 random videos from throughout the month in the same outfit. So what I might do is actually do like all my Mondays in one outfit, all my Wednesdays in another outfit, because then they'll be interspersed with other stuff throughout the week, and it won't be so obvious that I batched everything. So basically it's time to set up my tripod and my phone, and we'll get into my Monday reels in this green sweater, and then we'll swap. Let's do this. Okay, so for this first reel anyway, I thought I would walk you through my steps of how I get everything set up in case you're new to this and you're not really sure how you would go about batching reels. So I've got my tripod with my little iPhone mount on it, and I'm just setting it up with this background here. I mean, for this one especially, I could just hold it, and for a lot of the reels I'm gonna do today, I could just be holding it, but I like to try to find nice backgrounds that kind of suit my brand and just look a little bit nicer so that I can have a consistent sort of aesthetic. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain my process while I do it here. Okay, so for this video, the concept is using this Taylor Swift lyric, which is, oh my God, she's insane. And you know, the idea is kind of like, what's something that you're super passionate about that you could like go crazy about that people would be like, okay. So the way that I'm taking this trend is I'm gonna make it about how excited I get when other people tell me that they wanna start a YouTube channel. So for this trend, I kind of wanna start with me in like sped up motion. So what I'm gonna do is go over to 3 times speed, and then I'm gonna hit on the timer button here so that I can decide what part of the song I want this clip to go to. So it's really just up until the point where she sings. So I'm gonna find that now. So for this one, it's at about 4.6 seconds. So I'm gonna choose that, and then I'm going to start the countdown, and then I'm gonna act out me talking really excitedly about someone starting a YouTube channel. Okay, it's gonna be so awkward to watch the actual footage of me doing this because I just ad-lib. It's not like I'm actually saying anything. Okay, let's watch this back and make sure that it kind of looks like what we're going for. Okay, yeah, perfect. It makes me look like really excitable and like sped up. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back and I'm going to go to the timer again and choose like how long I want the rest of the video to go. Okay, so I want this video to go to about 7.6 seconds. So I'm just gonna start the countdown again, and then when it, the timer goes off, then I will lip sync the words. Oh, I don't, okay, little mistake. So I left it in 3 times, which meant that was also in slow-mo, which I don't want. So we're gonna redo that. Okay, now we'll watch it back and see if this looks how we want. Perfect, that looks great. That is exactly how I want it to turn out. Okay, so I'm just gonna take it off my tripod now for a second and we're gonna add some text. Okay, so the text that I had written on Notion was, the second somebody mentions they wanna start a YouTube channel and I dive into 10 ideas or whatever. So, what I've been tending to do on TikTok is always select like the same color and font just to like keep it consistent. So I do just like the standard like classic one with a gray background. That tends to always look good with my backgrounds and stuff too. So now what I'm gonna do once I've got it placed where I want is I'm just gonna tap on it and click set duration. I'm gonna use these red handlebars to move it to where I want it to go to. So I'm gonna like have it go to where this clip ends. And then I'm gonna just write out in quotes, oh my God, she's insane. I hate how on TikTok the text like automatically goes to the next line. You can't resize it to make it fit, which is annoying. But anyway, I might do it like that. Okay, and I'm just gonna move that till I like how it looks. Okay, and then I'm gonna set duration again. Hopefully I'm explaining this enough for y'all. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, so scrubbing that over and I'll do that. And then I'll just click on insane. That's a really good little tip for you is while you're setting the duration, you don't have to actually click check and go back out to pick another piece of text. You can actually just tap on them like I'm doing right now to swap between them to set the different durations. So I'm gonna actually make this one right there when I'm mouthing she, just to kind of have them show up in succession. So now the result is this. Okay, perfect. That was a really easy one. Now what I'm gonna do is just literally save this as a draft, and I'll come back later to do all the captions and stuff. Okay, one down, like 20 to go. Okay, actually, sorry, I'm back. Just turn on the camera because I remembered this and I forget a lot of times, but this is something I try to do when I'm recording reels, is after I've done that, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a picture. So the reason why I just take a quick still is so that I can make this the cover of the reel so it looks good in my feed. So yeah, it's just gonna be like a little selfie, but it's something that doesn't have the text on it and I think that just looks a little bit better. So we're just gonna set this up. So I actually am gonna use the camera app for this one so that I can do a timer. So I've just opened up my camera, and what you can do so that it's not just like a 4x5 image is if we tap on this little arrow there, you can see like the 4x3 shows up. So I'm just gonna tap on that, change it to 16:9, and then I'm also going to tap on the little timer icon here and do just 3 seconds, and then I'll just like pose and I'll move back into my spot. And this is just something so it's not just literally an arm length selfie to be the cover of the reel, and it matches up with what the reel sort of looks like. So we'll just do one more. Okay, and I will take a look at those. Okay, yep, serviceable, so good. I feel like I'm like just whirling around because I'm trying to get everything done, but gotta remind myself, there'll be time. It's okay. 4 rules you need to remember. Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan. Another thing that I like to do with my like little images that I shoot just to keep myself organized is what I'll do is, I'll screen record real quick. I'll open up the Notion app on my phone. You can see I've just done it for the last one. I like to upload the little cover images that I take into my content calendar so that I can find them really easily later. So I'm just looking at my computer, which is where I've been referencing the prompts basically, and this one is for the 21st. So then I can just quickly pop into February 21st. And then what I'll do is just enter in here. I'm gonna select photo library, and then I'll just select those 2 self-timer photos that I just took, and I'll upload them here. That means later when I am working on like scheduling this all in later, which we will get to, that I have access to this stuff really easily and I can like throw it into Lightroom, do whatever I want from my computer. It's just an easy way to get them to my computer and then help me remember which screenshot was for which TikTok. Let's pop back over to TikTok, speaking of that, and I'm gonna work on the text again. So just opening up my little text editor, and I'm gonna add what I had planned already for this one. See, the other thing when I am like deciding where the text is gonna go is that I would like it to be visible on the main feed. So I know they recently changed it so that Reels like take up more space in the feed than they used to, but it's still not entirely full screen. So that's just something that I'm like trying to keep track of and not have stuff cut off and then people can't see it. And okay, that's another reel done, everybody. Let's save that draft and on to the next. Okay, so for this next one, we're gonna try something a little bit different, and I'm actually gonna record inside Reels, which is different for me. Generally, I record all of these in TikTok because I like to post them in both places and I get a lot of my inspiration from TikTok. But I had one idea that I'm gonna record now that was basically just like a list style reel where I'm gonna point to text on the screen. And personally, I don't find that these types of videos perform that well on TikTok. It's very much like a Reels thing. So I decided for this one, for the sake of an experiment, I'm gonna try recording it in Reels, and I just scrolled for like literally 2 seconds on my Reels feed to find an audio that had a little like up arrow in the corner that indicates that it's a trending audio. And I'm just really curious if these kinds of Reels will perform better at all. Like, I don't necessarily think that the concept itself is like super strong. It's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's made inside Reels using a trending audio. If this reel for some reason gets like way more views than all my others, then I feel like that might be a sign that it's better to use this strategy. So anyway, this is like the inner workings of me like strategizing out what I'm gonna create. I don't know, it's all speculation and experimentation, but just trying to explain my reasoning like a good student on an assignment. So I'm gonna set up for this one now. I feel so cheesy doing that. Time for a costume change. I'm gonna go find another outfit to film my next batch. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this, y'all, but the reels are complete. With the exception of just a couple pieces of content that I have left for later, because if you didn't know, I'm actually going to be leaving on a big van trip at the end of this month. Me and my husband Dan are part-time van lifers, and the part of the time that is for van life is starting soon, which is exciting. But I wanted to make a couple reels like showing the van life stuff, and I obviously cannot record that here. So that's just kind of added to the to-do list for later, but otherwise, all of the reels are complete, and we have come over here to the bedroom because I am going to shoot some photos now. That sounded really sketchy. Maybe it kind of is. I don't know. No, I want to use my gray wall for a backdrop for one, I think, and then one of them is definitely going to be like set on the bed with the bedroom as the backdrop. But what I have got with me for supplies for this next portion is this tripod that I was once made to check on an airplane because I was told it could be used as a weapon, so that's how you know it's serious. My Sony a6600 with a 16mm f1.4 lens. I just got this lens recently and I'm loving it for being able to take photos in my tiny ass apartment because normally it's pretty hard for me to get the camera far enough away to like actually get a scene and not just like my face. This lens allows me to do that. I've got my phone, which has the Sony Imaging Edge app on it, which is gonna allow me to remotely shutter my camera from wherever I am. And finally, we've got our inspiration. So I put this in Notion when I was building out my content calendar, and I've got two different photos that I'm kind of using as my inspo for my shoot. The first one is this really cool photo of a girl like holding up Polaroids in front of her face, and then like parts of her face are shown as like black and white. I don't know, I think it's just cool. It's not like overly relevant to the caption. The caption's gonna be about like how to start from zero on Instagram, but I just think it's fun to play with photography and try out more creative stuff. So I don't have Polaroids, but what I do have is blank pieces of paper. So what I'm planning to do is just kind of like cut them roughly to the size of a Polaroid, and then I can probably just use one of these. And then it's all gonna happen in Photoshop, which I think is a bit of a fun challenge. I just threw all that paper right on the floor. I feel like I'm starting an arts and crafts channel right now, but what I'm actually gonna do now is go and pick out another outfit. I don't know if I'm gonna wear a hat or not. I don't normally wear hats, but like maybe I do have one hat that might kind of, I don't know. I'm gonna go find an outfit and then once we have a look styled for this shoot, I'm gonna come back and we are gonna go ahead and do this little photo shoot. Okay, these will function as my Polaroids. The second photo that I'm going to replicate is this cute one. This is where like the bed comes in, so it's like a girl browsing through magazines. This one is gonna be about how to feel confident, and I think what I'm gonna do is set up a little scene where there's like two images, one of me looking happy, confident, whatever, and then one of me feeling like more insecure, and I'm gonna talk about like the media's impact and how what we consume impacts our confidence, and like how you can sort of like shift the content you're consuming to become more confident on Instagram. Okay, now that you've got the creative pitch for the shoot, we're gonna dive into this. Let's do this. So I'm pretty happy with the results of that. I actually think the hat thing looked really good. I was not sure about it, but I tried to do some like continuous shooting because the challenge is gonna be getting two frames where my face is the exact same, one where I'm holding the Polaroids and one where I'm not. But even if that doesn't work out, I still have some really great portraits that I can use. So I'm gonna consider that checked off in terms of the imagery for now. Obviously we're gonna edit all this later. And now we're gonna try for the second shot. First of all, can we appreciate that there's some sunshine today? That makes my life so much better. Okay, y'all, the video and photo capture is complete. So I got my comfy pants on and I'm gonna make lunch now. It is about 12:30, so gonna take a bit of a lunch break. I'm actually ahead of where I thought I would be, so gonna take a minute to just kind of have a brain break, and I will catch back up with you in a little bit, and we're gonna design some stuff in Canva, write some captions, and schedule using my bestie, later. So I'll see you in a minute. All right, we are back, party people, after a very well-enjoyed lunch break. And we have the laptop here. We're at my desk because we are going to start designing some Canva carousels. Just at the end of my lunch break, I was looking through my content calendar and I've decided to make a couple last minute switches because originally I was gonna do a carousel rounding up Reels trends, and I realized that if I wanted to do that, I definitely still could, but I should do it closer to the day that I'm actually gonna post it, just to make sure that it is like relevant still and up to date. So I'm actually gonna swap that out with the potential that maybe I will do like a trend roundup later, but I want to at least have something to post that day in case I don't have time to actually do that for the week that it's scheduled. So instead I'm gonna try my hand at a cute little just like encouraging graphic. I do have Procreate on my iPad and I like to doodle sometimes, so I just thought it'd be fun to kind of try that out. So that's one of the designs that I'm going to be working on, and then the next two are just like more informational, traditional carousels. So why don't I go ahead and share my screen with you, and then you can see what my Canva template and that whole setup looks like. So this is my really basic Canva template. My personal preference is for something that's really, really minimal. I don't necessarily have specific brand colors right now because I'm kind of in a bit of a transition period, but I like to lean towards neutrals and like greens, obviously. So anyway, for now, I just find it easiest to keep it plain. And I find that that is like really attention grabbing as well. So I've got a few different like formats that I kind of have just like here that I can like switch around and stuff. And I'll build up my carousel and then I'll just save like the first few slides, however many are relevant for the carousel that I'm working on. So if we pop over to the content calendar, the first one I'm gonna do is what Instagram's feed changes will mean for your strategy. So I'm gonna think about how I wanna really title that to be most effective and then just start writing it. I do have a few notes that I wrote down when I like came up with the idea. The doodle that I am attempting on my iPad, this is how far I've got. Okay, I know, we all know it doesn't look good. And I've just realized that while I like the concept, I feel like I'll have a better sense of whether or not the colors that I'm trying to fit into it are gonna work once I have the feed put together. So we are going to table that for now. And what we're gonna do in the meantime is actually go ahead and bring some stuff into Lightroom and work on getting things sort of shaping up inside later. So the first step is to edit all those thumbnails, edit my like actual photos, maybe go make myself a coffee, and get some stuff scheduled. Okay. Okay, that's adequate time to get to work. I think I'm going to motivate myself by watching something on my iPad while I edit photos. So here's the setup. Wish me luck. Okay, seems like the coffee worked because I've got my photos edited. It's time to open up later and show you my process. Now, I find one of the biggest challenges when it comes to batching an entire month of content is the organization. Like, it can be really overwhelming to keep track of not only all of your reels, which in my case are right now stored in my TikTok drafts, but also the cover images for those reels, which are right now stored in Notion associated with each of my different content pieces, And then of course get that all paired up with the caption, which it's gonna be associated with in later. So what I'm gonna do is, even though I haven't gone through and like done my Lightroom presets on all of my different covers or anything like that, I'm gonna start working through my content week by week and then kind of go through a set of steps, processes to get it all prepared to be scheduled. And I personally find this is the easiest way to keep from being like really overwhelmed. So maybe it's more efficient to like truly batch everything, like edit all of your Reels covers, then write all your captions. But I'm gonna start doing this now day by day, post by post, so that I don't miss anything. So why don't I record my screen for you again. So here we are in later. This is February. You can see nothing has been scheduled yet. So what I'm gonna start with is my Notion content calendar, and we will go to the very beginning of the month, which is this TikTok, which I actually recorded a while back, so this is why it's in a different outfit than today. I'm gonna go ahead and click on original, and that is gonna load up the full size HD image, which is like stored on like Notion servers or whatever. And I'm gonna save that, and I'm gonna make a new folder here in my Instagram. You can see I have an Instagram folder with like different dates. So this is my February one. All of the feed photos that I shot on my Sony camera are in there. Here are the carousels that I just designed in Canva. I downloaded them to my laptop as well. And then I'm gonna save my Reels covers in here. So I'm just gonna rename this for the date that I'm gonna post it on to keep from getting confused. So that's actually January 31st. Okay, now we're gonna open up Lightroom, and I'm going to import that cover. And just gonna do some very minor editing. I like to keep a pretty natural look. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna throw my subtle vintage preset on this, and then I will just right click. We're gonna export it, and I will just export it to the same folder where I had it stored before. So we'll just go into Reels covers, and it'll automatically just give it a slightly different name. Okay, so now what we'll do, close that so I don't get confused. Come back to that in a second. We're gonna upload this cover from our Reels cover, and I think it'll be this one. Okay, so we're gonna upload that, and then I will click and drag it onto the date that I'm gonna be posting it. And so you can see right away, it says like this is not the right aspect ratio, but I'm just gonna switch this over to send notification, because this is my little hack for scheduling Reels. So as I mentioned, I have this saved as a TikTok draft. So what I'm gonna do is literally just schedule the cover image with the caption to my later account. So when the time comes for this post to go live, I will get a notification on the later app on my phone, and from there I'll be able to save this image directly to my camera roll. So it'll be like the most recent image in my camera roll, and it'll copy the caption to my clipboard. So then all I'll have to do is post the TikTok, and then I will use SnapTik to actually download the TikTok from the internet, from TikTok to my phone without a watermark. Then I will go over to Instagram, upload that non-watermarked video, add this cover, paste in the caption, and then we'll be ready to go. I swear it takes me longer to explain this process than it actually takes me to do. So even though it sounds intimidating, trust me, once you get into a routine of it, it's super straightforward. And basically this allows me to have one notification that reminds me to post my TikTok and my Reel. I know it's not automatic, it's not auto-published. It does require me to have internet access anytime that these are going live, but I mean, I post Monday to Friday when I'm working anyway. It's a part of my job, so for me, that's manageable. At this point, unfortunately, there is no way to schedule an auto-publish Reels, and I find this is the way to do it most efficiently, that allows you to hit all those bases of like having a good cover image, getting your caption in there, and posting to both TikTok and Reels. So that's how I do it. Anyway, enough chatting. time to write a caption. And that is our first post scheduled for February. Yay! We're getting there. Which means I officially get to check off this done box in Notion, which is so satisfying. Honestly, I'm so frazzled by this point in the day that I forget where I left off with y'all, but I'm done, at least for today. It's 4:30 p.m. now, and I am ready to at least wrap up what I'm doing right now. I might do a few more tasks to end the day off, but I have scheduled everything that I can schedule for now. I have a few spots in my Notion content calendar where I've made notes for myself to come back to stuff later. For instance, my 2 feed posts that are like those photos I shot earlier, I want to write more in-depth captions for those, so I want to make sure I take the time to do it well. So I'm going to come back to that when I have a fresh brain again, like another day. So I've kind of done like the bulk of it now, but I've got lots of time to fix stuff up or come back to it if I need to. But overall, I could not organize this whole process of batching and staying consistent without using Notion, and of course without using Later, because there's no way I'd be able to organize myself to remember what caption goes with which file, with which video, and like make sure that gets posted every day. So I really need Later to keep myself organized and to make sure that everything gets posted on time. So speaking of that, thanks again to Later for sponsoring this video. Remember, you can get a free growth plan for 1 month if you use the link in my description. So go check that out. And if you want to see my process for planning all of this content, so then when I get started on my batching day, I'm just ready to record, I will link that video here. Once it's posted, it's going to come out on Friday if you are watching this early, but if you're watching this, you know, whenever, I'm sure it's linked here already. Thanks so much for coming along on this content batching day with me. I hope it was helpful and maybe interesting for you. And as always, I hope that you are having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!